To surprise ourselves also in general, to be able to maybe sometimes say absurd things, to act in ways that we wouldn't usually act, to use words that we don't usually use, all this in a respect of ourselves and of the person we're speaking to, but to push the limits of what we know of ourselves. This sometimes brings us to find zones of light note and humor that we didn't know. I will continue just a little bit more. I don't know how much time I have left, but to speak to you about joy, we spoke about humor and laughter and the ways of developing a sense of humor, and the common thing between humor and laughter is joy. And joy is a very important emotion that our society sometimes has forgotten, and that is lived in every moment that we're savoring what's going on, moments that we can taste life really no matter what the situation is. All the moments of celebration, all the moments of profound contact with ourselves, with what is around us, with nature. These are moments that create joy, and joy in relation to other emotions is the emotion that creates expansion. It opens us, whereas sadness has a tendency to shut us down on ourselves, to make us smaller. Joy in general opens us up and puts us in a relationship with anything greater than us. It can be the world around us. It can be spirituality for those who have one. So joy elevates us. So it is interesting also to think of situations in our lives in which we've lived a profound joy, and to write them in ourselves, rather to write it in a journal, to draw it, or to remember it through visualizations, to have a symbol that can remind us of these joyous moments, because these can be elements that we can refer to when we are going through more difficult moments. We can also be interested in colors. What are the colors that induce this expansion, this form of openness in our body and in our mind? There might be colors or ways of dressing, etc., that create more of that joy within us. And joy and humor is also to remember our own generosity, situations in which we were able to face something, in which we were able to transform a difficult situation. So it means to savor our own successes and our talent, even if tomorrow maybe will be more difficult for us, to savor these moments when they come in terms of our ability to develop our resources. So to be in contact with our own generosity, our own kindness, and also towards gratitude towards life in general. We see also that this is an emotion that facilitates joy, well-being, and also lightness. In the research that exists also, we show that when we can not only receive but also give, that also often favors moments of joy and expansion. Finally, I would like to speak to you very quickly of the Dr. Clown. The idea is not to become a clown, but just to see what we can learn from the therapeutic clown. The therapeutic clown was born in 1986 in the United States and Canada, where health caregivers and professionals started to use the figure of the Dr. Clown, the relationship clown, to work in a healthcare environment, not just to do jokes, but to be in relationships with the patients, whether children or elderly, and to use resources of art in general to face illness. What is interesting in the level of the clown is that the clown is there to welcome all the emotions, so the clown doesn't judge. The clown allows to authorize a certain vulnerability. The clown is a figure in our imaginary. In the hospital, he doesn't understand much of how the hospital works, of the instruments, of how everything has to be used. So he is very vulnerable, but at the same time, he authorizes the child and the elderly to see his or her vulnerability, and this vulnerability, because the clown accepts it, and because he puts it in relation to his environment, this allows us to have richer relationships on a human level. Also, the clown lives in the present moment. This is also an element that we have saw in common with humor. The clown is able to have a certain lightness because he lives in the present moment. And finally, because he welcomes the different emotions he can live, and also because he's in contact with the body that we are. Not only the body that we have a body with a physical shape, an eye color, hair color, etc. But we are also someone through this body. And often the clown will be interested in the body we are, our way of moving, our way of being present, the quality of our presence. And this is what interests the type of relationships developed with the clown, rather than just the body of appearance that is more valued in our society. Finally, the 5 values of the clown, and these can be values that these inspire me a lot personally in my life, in my personal life, is of lightness, openness, pleasure, simplicity, and honesty. Honesty and play. So the lightness is to be able to develop a way of seeing things that doesn't just see the weight of a situation, but that tries to see it in a wider perspective. An openness towards what exists. Openness that is a way of saying yes to what is there, to then develop our resources. Seeking pleasure, we mentioned that a few times already. Where is pleasure in my life? How can I increase it? And simplicity. Often humor or joy will be born of things that are small and not, or simple and not really complicated things. It will start from a situation or a small thing that will then bring in the joy in it within us. And finally, I would finish by saying that the common aspect between humor, laughter, the clown, those who want to have more information on the therapeutic clown, I can mention it in the questions. It's not the main objective of this conference, so. But the common element between these 3 things, humor, laughter, clown, and lightness in general, is that we're going to put them in the register of animation. Well, he animates well, he does a good humor, he has nice jokes. To animate is to distract us, but it is also to inject spirit, so to give back a new breath, to give us a new breath to ourselves and to our relationship with what we're living. So finally, everything that is going to nourish us in joy, in laughter, and in humor, we can think helps us to have a little added soul, a little added soulness. Finally, joy is also what increases our ability to be. It was a philosopher who said that when we're happy, we're more in power. We're more in sync with our strength and our energy. So joy is what increases our capacity to be, so to live better. So I will end on this, and if you have questions, comments, so we can talk about it.